All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So we are seeing that weekly open magnet strategy play out pretty much perfectly going into the Friday, obviously the last day of the week, going into that close. We have the weekly open at 490 and the weekly open at 28,501 on NASDAQ. And then look at where we are right now, starting the Friday, almost exactly on that weekly open. We assumed that the weekly open was going to be a little bit sloppy to start the week because of that gap, right? It had a really large gap on Sunday. So we didn't know if it was going to be a very strong magnet this week. We didn't know to use the regular weekly open, to use the gap level. It was kind of hard to figure out, right? But then after like Tuesday going into the FOMC, you started reacting a bit more to the actual weekly open, the Sunday open. So now we're kind of sitting on that level damn near perfectly going into the weekly close. So beautiful magnet there. If we do stay above that level, look for that 533, look for that 55. Below it, we're going back into a value retrace, back to 62, back to 85, retracing Thursday. So right now we have a bit of a D-shaped profile, pretty neutral, but we'll see how we respond to that weekly open. Same exact story on NASDAQ. Above the weekly open, 673, 806. Below it, we're looking for 380 and 876 to the downside. What did I put? 181? I put the POC node. That's perfectly fine as well. So you can target the value high or the POC node. Both are okay. I didn't use the value high because it's just too close to the current level. Not offering you that much of a move. We do have a little bit of data coming out at 9:45 and 10 o'clock, so watch out for that. We had a couple of earnings come out yesterday. We had Amazon, which massively beat earnings. It was actually insane. Their earnings per share like tripled the expectation. So they are up 13% on the pre-market. And then Apple missing earnings, they are down about 8%. So a little bit of a mixed bag there on the earnings. And then we had Microsoft a couple of days ago went up. Facebook went down. Tesla went down. What else did we have? We had Google, they went down. And Netflix went down. So out of all the big ones, Microsoft and Amazon, they were the big winners. And then we still have a ton of earnings next week in that sector, the tech kind of the bubble sector, if you will. Keep an eye on VWAP, testing VWAP on the open here. But yeah, don't feel like the earnings are over. They are not over just yet. We've got a ton coming out next week with that start of the month. Keep an eye on that VWAP, testing it right into the open. And before we open, just a quick reminder, today is basically the last day to send me any receipts. Here is my email. If you guys use code BREW anytime during July for your Apex accounts, go ahead and send those over to that email. Make sure to have them sent by the end of today. I will be pulling that raffle most likely tomorrow or Sunday. Just make sure that I can see the account size, the date you purchased it, and your receipt number, invoice number, that sort of thing. It's not going to tell you the promo code. Like I said, just make sure I can see those three things. By the end of today, I will be responding to all of the emails that I have as well. So if you do not see me respond to your raffle email by the end of today, go ahead and resend it. But I'll just tell you that I received your email so you know that I entered you in the raffle. All right, here we go. Breaking VWAP. We're already above VWAP on NASDAQ. Dollar is coming down a little bit, so if that dollar correlation is still very strong today, it is on the side of the buyers right now. Okay, so far buyers are pretty strong here. Keep an eye on that 33. That's our first target if it does continue. Keep an eye on the dollar. It is still heading downwards, so if that correlation is here, it is still helping the buyers for now. Daily is looking pretty weak. Little bit of a bounce, kind of a micro pullback on the daily on the dollar. But yeah, still pretty weak. We do have data coming out right after the open, so be careful. Pretty solid trend so far. We're not seeing that standard open that we keep seeing where you have like a very strong move and then it just reverses it right away. A little bit of bearish delta coming in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Scott, Future. Good morning, Ray, Luis, Steven. Good morning, Julio, Patriot, AT, Roma, Morris. Good morning, Stronger. Good morning, Hugo, Ray, Crown, Carini, Orion, Adam. Good morning, Jazz. Good morning, Greg. Lubomir, Larry, Blood, Abby. Good morning, Flory. Good morning, Chuck, Anthony, ATF. Good morning, Smooth, Ryder. Good morning, Tom, Joan, Joseph, Sebastian. Happy Friday, guys. Delta is negative, even though we are rising here. Very strong candle. But we do have weak delta. Also, the overnight high coming up. So they do want to fix that before they try to break that overnight high. That could be weak. Keep an eye on that daily trail. And a big thing to watch today is how do we react to all of these daily highs? Because we have not been able to stay above daily highs for a very long time. So does today close very strong? Do we close above those daily highs? Do we sweep them and go right back down? It'll mostly help you for next week, but you definitely want to keep an eye on how we react to those daily highs today. You've already taken out 2 daily highs, possibly 3, 4 coming up on NASDAQ. You've taken out about 4 on ES as well. Okay, so here's that move we just talked about with that open. So it wasn't showing the sign of that reversal right away, but here is that reversal that we typically see in the morning. That one took a lot longer than normal. It took about 10 minutes. They normally do it like right away within the first like 5 minutes. We keep seeing these morning traps where that buy pressure is just reversed. And if you want to know why, here you go. The dollar is just ripping higher. So you still have to have the dollar on another chart for today. We still have that very strong correlation. Yep, so yet again, it's leading by 2 minutes. So that move started at 9:34. The sell-off started at 9:37. So 3 minutes, actually. So just keep an eye on the dollar. Very strong correlation. Obviously, inverse correlation. So dollar goes up, equities go down, vice versa. And a key point of the correlation, the dollar is the leading asset. The market is not leading the dollar. Morning, Rocky. Morning, Jay. Yeah, we still have singles from yesterday that are left open. There's quite a bit. Actually, no, there's only one left, I think. There are more singles. There's a bunch on Wednesday. Going back to like 360. Okay, losing VWAP on NASDAQ, losing it on ES, going back into that value low. So we're finishing that rotation. Does it want to break that rotation and go even lower? Keep an eye on those value lows. Still being pulled back to that weekly open. Still a very strong level. This is that 9:45 data. Then you have some at 10 o'clock as well. This is the PMI. Press secretary said Trump will be doing a televised cabinet meeting at 11 o'clock. So add that to your calendar. 11 o'clock might be a little volatile. Okay, the data was, let me see, it's still pending actually. $57.6 over 55.9, so a little bit better. Dollar still stable. We're at that key level where it needs to decide, is it just rotating or is it getting one directional? Because if you lose this value high here, you're getting one directional trying to retrace the value of yesterday. So it really needs to decide here if those buyers are strong enough. Yeah, D, you'd never see me trade on stream, and you're not going to hear me talk about my trades. You physically cannot see my trades on stream. I have a iPad, which obviously you can't see, but it's off screen to my right here, that I basically use as like a touch screen for buttons. Like my, it's almost like hotkeys. Like it's like it has the Tradovate dashboard, and I just use it for like hotkeys for buttons. So you physically cannot see my trades on this screen. Really wide A session already. We already have a damn near 50-point A session here. Beautiful trend, both directions, right? Very clean trend on the way up. Reversed it, very clean trend on the way down. Staying below the 80 MA the entire time. Dollar is still stable, slightly bullish. So obviously helping the sellers here. You're getting a lot of headlines from Besson about what's going on in Japan. The Treasury Secretary talking about how Japan is dedicated to keeping monetary stability and their economy is doing good, yada, yada, yada. So people are paying attention to what's going on in the yen. Very trendy day on the profile as well. Look at how many nodes we have. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 nodes already. Dollar trying to break this downtrend here. It will be pretty bad for the sellers if the dollar completely recovers that move. How is the yen doing? About the same. Good morning, Chevy. Good morning, Ringo. So you are getting pretty bottom heavy here. This is what we were talking about with the value low. Well, it's the value low and the value high, actually. Because the value low of today and the value high of yesterday, and they're kind of battling off this level to see, like I said, is it one directional or is it two directional, right? So the buyers are really strong here. They're not allowing it to retrace yesterday. That would be a very one directional move. If the buyers are very weak here and they can stay below like 62, then you can be very one directional and keep trending. So just keep an eye on the EMAs, the trails, the nodes. As long as we're trending in one direction, it is obviously looking for that one directional retrace. We do have data in 3 minutes here. Oh, sorry, I was muted. You have a little bit of a bull div here, where the delta is coming up even though price is coming down. The dollar's not really helping you right now. Not doing a whole lot. Oh, here's the 10 o'clock data. Let me see what it did. 55.2 or 53.9. Inflation 4.2 as expected. You want a Ringo? Good morning, Olive. No, it's not custom. That's the built-in volume profile. I'm just using two of them. Just one indicator on the left, one on the right. Okay, so far, going back to what we were saying earlier, is it going to be two directional or one directional? Obviously, so far, it is one directional, right? They are not bouncing off that value low. They are not bouncing off the value high of yesterday. And this is the main problem that we have to watch the entire day today. It goes back to what I was saying. If you look at the higher time frames here, they absolutely refuse to stay above these daily highs. They are just constantly protecting these daily highs. So if you can actually have a strong close, like closing up here, that is incredibly strong for next week, right? But if it doesn't do that, then nothing changes. We're just still in this downtrend. And it just keeps going down. So that is the number one thing you have to watch for today. And so far, obviously, the status quo is being maintained, and those sellers are keeping control. If it stays below 62, watch that POC node. That is part of our target. And then we have the full retrace back to 82. Just not really seeing any buy pressure whatsoever. And the dollar is not helping you. It's not going down here. If it starts shooting down, you might get some buyers, but so far, no. Good morning, Bob. I don't care to look at them. Same thing I say about all earnings. I think if you guys are trying to overanalyze earnings, you're just wasting your time. You're basically just like flipping a coin most of the time. Analyzing how a stock is performing like right before or right after earnings, for the most part, is just a waste of time. It's not a technical move. It's a fundamental move. And some people will say they have like an edge when it comes to earnings. It's like, okay, if you have an edge when it comes to earnings, you must be a multi-millionaire. Because that's like the easiest way to make money. If you have an edge on something that is that crazy. When a stock is moving 10, 20% in one single day, sometimes a couple of hours, right? They think they have an edge because they're getting lucky a couple of times, but they can't replicate that edge over a large time frame, large number, right? Very strong sell into yesterday's value, losing that value high. Delta is exploding on the low there. Single prints going up to 65. Very early in the candle, but you will have single prints. You're coming up on the... Sorry, let me pull the chart up here. There we go. You're coming up on the target here, the POC node. So you had, obviously, the value high. You could have targeted that as well. Then you have this big POC node here. If you make it through that, that's kind of the halfway point. Then you have the value low here. Watch out for the secondary POC. This was the morning POC yesterday, which is around like 410, 400. Keep an eye on that. You're going to have a massive single print zone going back to 65. Yeah, it's a good point. Let's take a look at the weekly. You actually have the weekly VWAP right here. And then a massive weekly node as well. Good morning, Rush. They are trying to repair this 30-minute candle, so keep an eye on that 65 level. Actually, a very strong repair already. They've already repaired more than half of it. That also lines up perfectly with the VWAP, so possibly a bear flag and a VWAP when they fix that tail here. This is, once again, we always talk about this. We do not like block trades on the low of day or high of day because they can turn into a trap like this. And you can see those block trades like literally on the low of day on both ES and NQ. All right, keep an eye on VWAP here. They are nearly perfectly repairing this candle. It's almost lining up exactly on that 30-minute close. And they have to go to 65. Whatever is left will be single print. So look at this tail here. Look at how many single prints you could have had here. They're doing a really good job. Keep an eye on 65. Like I said, lines up damn near to the tick on VWAP. You do have a couple of single prints. The dollar is coming down a little bit, which is helping the buyers on this push here, but it's not too strong. They're not convinced the dollar is going to keep going down. There's a big block trade there, 1,100 contracts. You're filling in the single prints, they're done now. Keep an eye on VWAP. This could be a bear flag in the VWAP. That block trade's a little scary for that bear flag. And also the dollar coming down is a little scary for that block, or VWAP trade, I mean, sorry. The dollar coming down and the block trade, a little scary for the VWAP trade. This would be a pretty decent bear flag in the VWAP here, but the dollar coming down like that is very dangerous. You're seeing a very strong correlation between the dollar and equities right now, so that dollar is pushing the buyers pretty hard here. You're also trying to recover, if I go back to this chart here, you're trying to recover that value high, bounced beautifully off that POC. Dollar's still coming down. It's nearly making new lows, so very hard to be a seller when that is happening, even though it is looking pretty bad. You're hitting VWAP, the buy pressure is pretty weak, but this is really hard to sell. Good morning, Viking. Good morning, Bella. Good morning, Olive. Quite a wide initial balance. Yeah, it's really bad. What is it, nearly 100 points? Yeah, it's nearly 100 points. Well, that's like the old school way of looking at it, Olive, is like when you have a wide initial balance, the likelihood that it stays inside that morning range is extremely high, obviously, because the range is very hard to break because it's so wide. Um, but that hasn't been the case so much recently because the volatility is so damn high. So I would say yes, obviously the likelihood is high because the range is 100 points. But I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't say like it's guaranteed. I think my other system is a much better way of looking at it. The other system is it can break the morning value, but if it does break the morning value, you can't really trust it. And this pattern has been something we've been talking about for years, and it's still happening. I mean, just look at this. It's literally happening like 5 times just on my last 4 days, last 5 days. You broke the morning value, retraced. Broke the morning value, retraced. Where? You broke the morning value here, retraced. You broke the morning value here, retraced. You broke the morning value here, guess what it did? It retraced. Now, you guys don't see this very often on stream because this is more of an afternoon thing, but we talk about this almost every day in the afternoon. We always talk about the afternoon breakouts being a little hard to trust. But yeah, if you think that's just a one-time thing, it doesn't happen a lot, just look at it again. Here you go. There's almost a break there, retraced. This one broke, damn near retraced it here. Not perfect, it's close. That's like the only one that's left open. We're right here, retraced. Right here, retraced. Did you retrace this? Let me see. I think you did on the pullback. Let's see here. Not yet. So that's actually a level you want to keep an eye on. That's 75. We have not retraced that one just yet. They're almost like gaps. They're like gaps that need to be retested. Which one was that? Was that this one here? Oh, we did retrace that. What am I talking about? There's a retrace right here. Breakout, retrace, breakout, retrace, breakout, retrace. I mean, it just doesn't stop. You can do this as long as you want. Retrace. That one got retraced eventually. If you want to set up a chart like this, I just have a profile from 9:30 to 12 and a profile from 12 to close. So that system is better than the old school initial balance system. Is it basically the same exact thing happening? Yes, pretty much. It's just a different way of looking at it. But yeah, that's a big thing we talk about in the afternoon, and sometimes like during the trade plan, if it's like a big one that hasn't been repaired, we'll talk about it. But yeah, afternoon value is not the strongest unless it's like for a reason. There's like some reason it has like incredibly high value. Maybe a headline or something, right? Like I said, very hard to be a seller when the dollar's going down like that. You're nearly a 1-to-1 correlation recently with the dollar. So if the dollar continues to go down, the buyers are just stronger. They're just easier. Just keep an eye on the dollar here. No, the dollar nearly always has an inverse correlation. The strong moves in the dollar move inverse to equities, as we saw today, as we saw yesterday. Massive yesterday. Yesterday was disgusting. One of the best dollar correlations we've seen in years. It's not always around, Josh. Well, here's a better way to say it. The correlation is always there, but is it strong enough to the point where it's tradable, where you can trust it? It's not always tradable. Things will happen. Like, the entire purpose of us watching economic data is because of the dollar. The economic data does not directly impact the market. It directly impacts the dollar, which then directly impacts the market. It impacts the dollar, the yields, the bonds, all that shit, all the macro stuff. Then it trickles down to the equities. You guys would have to read up on the relationship between future earnings and yields and the dollar and stuff like that, right? There's a lot that goes into that. I can't get into that whole spiel. That's just like one of the fundamentals of the market as a whole. But the correlations are like always there, but are they strong enough to press the button, to press the buy button, to press the sell button, and rely on that correlation? Most of the time, no. But yesterday, and I think the day before, when did it start? Yeah, it started on Wednesday. So Wednesday and yesterday, there was stuff going on, obviously, with the FOMC, but the big thing was actually, funny enough, not the FOMC. The big thing was in Japan, which we see this every so often. There was actually, I haven't even seen the headlines yet if it's been confirmed, if they were intervening in the Japanese bond market, if the government was intervening, because they do that every now and then. But there were rumors that they were intervening in their bond market, which greatly pushed the yen around, which then pushes the dollar around. Because the dollar's heaviest weighting is the euro or the pound, one or the other. I think it's the euro. And then the second heaviest weighting is the yen. It's like pound, euro, yen, and then like everything else is like barely anything. The Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, the Chinese currency as well. Those are all about the same, but the biggest are like the euro, the pound, and the yen. So when the yen moves around like crazy, you get those movements in the dollar like we saw the last couple of days. You can see the yen right here, nuking on the open. And then you had the massive move yesterday. Look at the yen move yesterday. So when you have these highly volatile events with the euro or the yen or the pound, the dollar will start moving like crazy. And when the dollar moves like crazy, the correlation is very tradable. As we are literally seeing right now, the dollar is going down, breaking a new low, and the equities are going up. If you guys want to look into it, like I said, I can't cover it on stream. It's just a lot of shit. Look into the Japanese yen carry trade. Look into the Japanese bond intervention. And then look into the correlation between bond yields in the US and future earnings on stocks. Nowadays, you could just ask AI to give you a little lesson on all that stuff, and it'll help you out. But that is why the equities are tied to the yields and they are tied to the dollar. It's because of how we calculate future earnings and future results on the stock market. Because the stock market, as you guys should know, you should know this, because this is like a basic of the stock market. Stocks are not priced at what they are valued at right now. They are priced based on future earnings. And if the value of those future earnings change because the value of the dollar is changing or the free return rate is changing, aka yields, then it's going to have a correlation, right? And vast majority of the time, that correlation is negative. Negative as an inverse. The dollar does one thing, the markets do the other thing. The yields do one thing, the market does the other thing. Now, that correlation has been dead for a while, probably a couple of years. It's been on and off, like it happens every now and then, but it's been mostly dead. Because the stock market has been doing phenomenal, even though yields are very high and the dollar was very high for a while. It was confirmed that they intervened in the market. Gotcha. But yeah, if you guys are macro traders like bond traders, dollar, all that stuff, um, mostly on the boomer side, the boomers, the what Gen X or whatever it is below the boomers, you see a lot of those like YouTubers or uh, basically just people that are in the macroeconomic side. They always talk about Japan as like the first domino. Like if the economic system collapses, the warning signs are in Japan, and that's why a big reason the market reacts so heavily to Japan. And that goes back to the Japanese yen carry trade, which you guys just have to do research on that. Isn't Japan one of the biggest U.S. bondholders? Yeah, I believe so. Japan has like I was saying, the macro guys say they're like the first domino because they are so heavily connected to the U.S. Bond market. So you are getting that kind of bear flag in the VWAP here. It's a little dangerous because you have that sell pressure in the dollar, but the dollar is actually bottoming out here. So I think they feel safe to sell VWAP here. A little bit of a double bottom, also a bull div on the dollar trying to push up. They need to reclaim that trail. But yeah, that support on the dollar is definitely helping the sellers here. You don't see as many big boys trading today as we did the last couple of days. The delta over the last couple of days has been absolutely insane. Every time there was a big move on the dollar, massive block trades would come in 1,000 contracts, 1,500, 2,000. So you can see the power of that correlation the last couple of days. Just go back and look at when those block trades came in and then look at what the dollar was doing on the chart. Yeah, Bitcoin's not the needed high volatility asset that it used to be. You can get that volatility from damn near any tech name nowadays. You can see what I mean here. Like this is why trading correlated markets are so hard. The second that buy pressure gives up, look at the move here. They're nearly 1-to-1. Double bottom, double top, triple top, whatever you want to call it. Bounces, sell pressure. Starts selling, starts bouncing. They are nearly 1-to-1. If earnings were good, what is causing the weakness? Just the dollar mostly. And then the earnings were not all good. You had a big drop in Apple, which does not help. Oh, are they doing another event in like Abu Dhabi or something? Usually when the time is really weird like that, it's in London or Abu Dhabi. Where's this one at? Oh, it's actually in Vegas. Why the hell are they doing Vegas at 1 p.m.? Yeah, I don't know why they're doing Vegas at 1 p.m. That's weird. Maybe that arena's being used by something else, maybe another sport or something. Yeah, so it is funny. It feels like a bear market, even though we're kind of still slightly going up. Like we have a little bit of a down move, obviously, recently, but in the grand scheme, we're still like net bullish. So it is a little weird, but it does feel like the start of a bear market for sure, which it very well can be. Like if this, that's what I've been talking about on the daily. The daily looks pretty bad. This very well could be the start of a down move. We're like right on that VWAP that we keep talking about. The VWAP from the March lows, the April lows. It's basically exactly the same. Like if we imagine this is a 1 minute chart and we trade a rollover top, we always target VWAP. And then if it loses VWAP, we always target a full retrace, right? So if you treat this like a 1 minute rollover, we've already hit our VWAP target. Are we going to get our full retrace? Now we don't know that yet because we have to lose VWAP. But not looking too good. NASDAQ back testing VWAP and already failing it. So that very well could be the local top. This would be a very easy bear flag in the VWAP if the dollar would just break out here. It still looks very clean. It's still a VWAP trade. You just have that weakness from the dollar. You can see you triple tapped it on NASDAQ, failing it every single time. Funny thing is the exact same thing I was just talking about on the daily is looking the same here. So you have that rollover and then possibly a full retrace. like I said, I'd sound like a broken record today. Um, but I can't stress enough the most important thing to watch today, and we're already seeing it. Those daily highs, right? We are in a one time frame effect where the daily highs are being protected, and pretty much every single day is breaking into a new daily low. Now, this would be a really nasty day if we broke into a daily low. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but you can say the daily highs are already being protected. You already have a big sweep there. The sellers are still in control here. They'll have a slight correlation with oil. Oil's not doing too much, though. This is a failure to rotate, by the way. If it stalls on VWAP, stalls on the POC, which it currently is, it is not finishing that rotation back into the high. If you lose that value low, back into rotation of yesterday, back down to low of day, back down to value low. You already hit our POC target. You already hit our value high target as well. Yeah, last day of the month is definitely not making it easy as well. We just have so much shit going on the next week as well. Way more data coming out. We have a bunch of earnings next week, etc., etc., etc. Probably the first move today, the market has been leading the dollar. You are rolling off a VWAP with no help from the dollar. Oh yeah, Trump is supposed to be speaking pretty soon, so watch out for that. They're doing a press conference at the I forgot where it was. I think it was like Camp David or something like that. But yeah, press conference coming up. Yeah, Chris, you're getting lucky here. The dollar's not doing anything. The dollar is very flat. This is the first move today that the equities are leading the dollar, which might be dangerous. It might be a trap. We'll see. Hey, Olive, have a good weekend, man. Keep a close eye on the dollar, guys. If this does pop up, you should get some sell pressure. If it pops down, you'll get some buy pressure. It looks like it's preparing to pop up, but it's really struggling to. You had the trail flip back on 1016. And you can see we're failing the trail constantly here. Trying to put in like an ascending triangle where it's trying to pop that trail. Press conference starting with Trump. We're doing a cabinet meeting press conference at Camp David. Look at what level we're sitting on here. This is why I haven't deleted that level yet. That's the 5-minute opening range of the FOMC. It's the bottom of these 30-minute candles, damn near to the tick on every candle. The FOMC low is at 418. The 5-minute low, right? Not the entire FOMC, just the opening. That opening surge you get, like when the 2 p.m. Report comes out, and then you have that 5-minute opening surge. That's what you want to mark out. Dollar still flat. Just keep an eye on it. It's like coiling. It's like preparing for a bigger move, it seems. And that will push around the markets. You just don't know what direction just yet. This is the POC node, by the way, the POC node of yesterday. So as you're pushing down, you're hitting that POC node. And then you're getting to that full retrace, which is 85. And that will finish our trade plan. Same level on NASDAQ is 875. Trump is speaking right now, so these reactions could be related to Trump, so be careful. And here is that reaction I was talking about. So dollar coming down here, and you have that buy pressure on ES. It seems like same as we saw the last couple of days, it is much more sensitive to the dollar going down than it is to the dollar going up. They're reacting more to the down moves than they are to the up moves. You can see how aggressive the buyers are when it starts going down. And this is what I was referring to as the trap, because this was the only move basically all day that did not really go hand in hand with the dollar. Everything else is pretty much identical. So one big thing you're seeing today, you're kind of seeing the block trades, but they are nowhere near the strength or how many you're seeing, the quantity that we were seeing the last couple of days. So the big boys are not playing this dollar correlation today as much as they were the last couple of days. Disgusting amount of block trades and delta over the last couple of days. We ended one of those days with 45,000 bullish delta. And most of that, I'd say probably like half of that, were from block trades. And that was the big day when the dollar was nuking, right? I think it was, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, whichever one it was. But it was one of these days where the dollar was just absolutely nuking. I think it was yesterday. But the delta was just insane. The highest delta number we've seen that I can remember all year. Like, look at our delta right now. It's like nothing. It's almost zero. Our high of today was like 4K. Our low of today was like -1. 44,000 delta. Trump is still speaking, by the way. So you're getting a reaction from Trump and a reaction from the dollar. So not very clean price action right now. Bulldog? Not really, no. Ignore the blue bars. It's a trading view bug. It's because the dollar doesn't give volume data. For some reason, indicators that use volume data to like color candles, they'll randomly just start coloring the candles because it thinks it's reading volume data. So because my pivots read volume data, it just starts coloring the candles. It only seems to happen on the dollar. It's like a dollar bug. And I don't think it happens on the other charts. Like if I go to this chart, is it happening? So this chart actually has volume, funny enough. The other ones do not. Yeah, like this one doesn't have volume. But yeah, it's usually just a volume bug. This one didn't used to have volume, so that's actually good that they have it now. I could just use this one. No, it's just a trading view chart. He's still not taking questions. They're just doing statements right now. Trump is done speaking, but his cabinet's going to start speaking now. Yeah, it's Vance and then a couple of his other cabinet members, and then it should be questions. I believe they're taking a couple of questions. Still seeing that buy pressure from the dollar coming down here, no change. Like I said, the only trap today that did not follow the dollar correlation was that move down there. They tried to push down. ES tried to be the leading move. And I understand why they tried to do that, because it did look like the dollar was trying to pop. You had like an ascending triangle here, and it looked like the dollar was trying to pop out of it. So they were trying to front run that move, or they were just trapping it, right? And then obviously that did not happen. The dollar came down, so now it's being completely trapped. They tried to break the correlation one time, and they're paying the price for it. They might try again for those daily highs later today, so keep an eye on that. Like I said, it's all about how we close around those daily highs. If it closes very weak today, then the status quo stays the same. The bears stay in control. We lose the monthly VWAP. We close below the monthly VWAP. And then next week starts out pretty bearish. It all just depends on all the earnings coming out next week. We have a ton of earnings coming out. We have a bunch of data as well. Not as much data as this week. It's a little bit lighter. But still a bit. But alright guys, I streamed a little long today. I am going to call it. One last reminder, today is your last day to send me any receipts if you used code BREW for Apex anytime in July. Just send those over to my email. I will be pulling that monthly raffle tomorrow or on Sunday. So if you buy any new accounts later today, just send them tomorrow, like later tonight or tomorrow morning. I typically pull it like late in the day, so as long as you send it by like afternoon on Sunday, you should be fine. They still have the 90% off. They still have the legacy accounts and whatnot. So if you use the last day to buy them, just send them early tomorrow. But yeah, make sure I can see the account size, the date you purchased it, and the receipt number. It's not going to show you the promo code, so just make sure I can see those three things, and you are good to go. By the end of today, I'm going to respond to all those emails. I'm going to say, hey, received, or I got your email, that sort of thing. So if you don't see me respond to it by the end of today, then resend it tomorrow morning. And same thing, if you send it tomorrow morning, I'll just say, hey, I received it, just so you know I'm entering you in the raffle. And I'm going to be pulling a couple of winners like we always do. Discord access, tutoring access, that sort of thing. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. If you guys enjoy the stream, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Just follow the trade plan. We've already hit a couple of our trade plan targets. Keep an eye on those daily highs. Those daily highs are extremely important. I'm going to keep harping on that all day. If you're in Discord, you'll hear me say it a few more times. Those daily highs are very, very important. Right now, we are failing the daily highs. We are failing the monthly VWAPs. We are failing the VWAPs from the low, at least on NASDAQ. Not so much on ES. That has to lose 300. If we lose 300, it gets pretty bad. So this could be the start of a bigger correction, 5, 10%, 15% correction. We don't know, right? So we just have to see if it stays below those monthly VWAPs, stays below those trending VWAPs. Then we can say, yeah, this is probably pretty bad. But all right, guys, if you want to support the channel, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can use code BREW on Apex. They got 90% off and legacy accounts right now. If you're struggling with the 50Ks, try out the legacy accounts, 100Ks, 250Ks. Those can help you out. If you're in Discord, I'll see you there. If not, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace, everybody.